Hi guys, welcome to BMW Clubsport. Right, today apparently there are some bugs, creepy crawlies, insects, whatever you want to call it in here, apparently, and I've been told I need to carry out something called a parasitic drain test. What? It's for what? Car batteries? Alright, right. Hi guys, welcome to BMW Clubsport channel. Today I'm going to be carrying out a parasitic drain test. Now, first thing is I don't even know if I have one, but I want to carry that test out because if my car is left for say 3 to 4 days without being started, it won't start. You probably saw that in a previous video where it just clicks, and then if I put my faithful battery booster on, it'll start no problem. I go for a little drive, let's say to the supermarket, do some shopping, come back, the car will start fine. It's probably going to start today. I was using the car yesterday. We're going to try it now and see if it cranks and starts. And I'm sure it probably won't start in a couple of days. Alright, let's see what happens. Yeah, there you go. So, everything is fine. And if I left this without starting for another couple of days, I think after turning the key it would just go click, 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 and that would be it. So, do I have a parasitic drain? And if so, where's it coming from? Well, first we need to test for one. Now you'll see I have this cable and this cable on my battery. This is coming from the subwoofer. So what we need to do is I think I might remove the subwoofer from the battery. Even though it's not on, I want to get it out the loop for now. Or maybe I should leave it in just for the moment. Yeah. So, how do we do it? How do we do a parasitic drain? Well, first you need a multimeter. And I happen to have one. Now, on your multimeter, if you have one, you may find on the amps section that you have amps, maybe 1 or 10 or 20 or whatever. You've got different ranges. I don't. I just have amps. The reason for that is because this is an auto ranging. It's an auto ranging one. So if it's within a certain range, then the display will show within a certain range. If it's in a different range, you know, it'll auto range basically. So we've got amps, milliamps, and microamps, I guess that is the U, microamps. So we're just going to be sticking it on amps at the moment. If you have one with numbers on, I suggest you go to about 10 or 20 amps, and we'll see how this manages. Right, so I'm just going to set this up and then I'll be back. Now the first thing you need to ensure before you connect the multimeter to the battery is that anything that can drain power is off. Okay, so internal lights which have gone off. I'm not sure though if I disconnect the battery and then reconnect it, whether these internal lights are going to come on. I mean, the windows are down but the doors are not open. I don't know whether that's going to tell the car anything, but make sure obviously that your key is out, and anything that you've got in the cigarette lighter like sat navs or whatever, phone chargers, make sure all that is out. There's nothing in that can charge that can put any load on the car, including your glove box. Make sure your glove box is closed because there's a little light in there. Now in the boot you will notice I have 2 lights and they are going to cause a drain on the battery, so we need to disconnect that. So I'm just going to pull these out on both sides so that there's no drain on the battery that I can see. and then we should be good to go. Okay, so that's done. So like the fridge, I'm pretty sure these lights, these backlights go out when you close the door. I hope so. Now, for this to come on, for the subwoofer to come on, the head unit needs to be on, because the head unit powers the sub. There's no amplifier here, because the sub has one built in. Whether it's putting a drain on the battery, I don't know. We will find out. So, first thing I'm going to do is undo this nut on the negative, and I'm going to take the negative cable off only, not the positive, okay, because it's a bit, you can do either, but it's less safe to do the positive. So to stay safe, do the negative. Now, once you have these cables connected to the battery, do not start coming over to your car, opening the door, putting ignition on. Certainly don't start the car. Don't put aircon on or anything like that, because once you have the multimeter connected, then any current that's going through the battery is now flowing through the multimeter. So if you crank the engine over, all that power needed to crank it over is going to flow through your multimeter, and you're probably going to break it. So to test the parasitic drain, if it has one, I don't even know if it does, but if it does, I need to go into the fuse box, and the first place I'm going to be looking is under the is in the glove box. Now when you open the glove box, there's a light that comes on. So before I open the glove box, I'm going to disconnect the multimeter from the battery, and the light in the glove box, I'm going to see if I can find a way to either turn it off or wait the 15 minutes required for the car to turn it off. I don't know. But then if I wait 15 minutes for the car to turn it off, when I make the connection with the multimeter, is it going to turn it all back on again? So what I'm going to find out right now is I'm going to take the negative off and then connect it back up and see if my interior lights come on, because if they do, that's going to complicate things a bit. And then I'm going to run the same test with the glove box open. I'm pretty sure the glove box is going to stay on, thinking about it, but what I might do is find the switch in the glove compartment, that, not that I store gloves in there, but find the switch in the glove compartment that triggers the light and put some tape over it or blue tack or something and keep the switch pressed down so that the glove box can stay open without the light being on. Alright, but we'll take a look at that in a second. So in order to rig up your multimeter, as I said, you need to go to amps. So we'll be doing that when the time comes, and you need the black in the comms and the red not in here. The red needs to be here in amps if you're using amps, and for milliamps and microamps, these two settings here, you're going to have to put it in this one. So it doesn't matter which way around these cables go, as far as I'm aware, but that's the way we're going to do this. Right, so now I'm going to get a spare, it looks like a 10mm, yep, and I'm just gonna, yes, undo this. I can see it sparking already. Okay, right, that's off. Now, there's no glove box open. I'm just going to retouch this, and no interior lights are on that I can see, so we're good. So that means when I make the connection with the multimeter, it's not going to suddenly put a draw on it. Okay, so I need to keep this away while I make this connection, and I'm going to need 2 hands. So let me try and organize something and then I'll get back. Right, I think we can manage this. So I've got this one probe in the cable. I've managed to tighten it down so it's not going to come out. We've got a reading there, and now I'm going to put the other probe onto the negative of the battery and let's see what it reads. Oh yes, we do have a parasitic drain, guys. 0.4. Well, well, well. What's causing that then? So my battery might be okay after all. We have a 4.3, 4.4. So we definitely have a parasitic drain. Something is pulling that down. A normal figure I would expect to be 0.05. I'm expecting a short drain, but I'm expecting it over 1 decimal place, not 0.4. Yes, something's dragging it down. So I'm going to disconnect this subwoofer cable, and even though it's not connected, I'm going to see if that's doing anything. So I'll do that first because it's easier and I'm right here. Righty, so I've disconnected the negative of the subwoofer. So let's run this parasitic drain test again. I've got a feeling that this is connected to the head unit, the radio. I don't know why, just a hunch. Maybe not the sub, but the radio. I'm going to pull that fuse first. Yeah, okay, it ain't the sub then. Right, so now we have to start pulling fuses one by one. Now I'm wondering if I can put the multimeter up on the back window so that as I pull fuses in the car, I can keep looking back and seeing if it's gone to 0 or gone to a smaller figure. Because if I can't see that, I'm going to have to keep getting out and getting back in the car again. So, with this connected, there's no interior lights on that I know. We are getting a parasitic drain, but there's no boot light on. There's no interior lights on. Nothing that I can think could be causing this kind, but yeah, 0.4 amps is being drained from the battery, and that would explain why I'm losing. So I need to find out where that is. So it's open the glove box, kill the light on the glove box, and start pulling fuses. Awesome. At least I know I don't need another battery for a while. Okay, let's get on with it. Alright guys, so what I've done, I still have the drain, is I've clipped the other one onto the battery, so the probes are connected now fully, and rather than mess around trying to pull the light out and take the bulb out of the glove box, I pulled the fuse for it. So the glove box is not fuse 52, which is the last one, but it's a 30 amp. So it turns out that 52 also kills all the interior lights. That's a good thing. Passenger trunk lighting, that's good. So all the interior lighting in the car is gone. So I think if I open the front door, if I open one of the doors now, all the lights should stay off. But I'm going to turn off the multimeter before I do that, just to make sure. Also, 52 is central locking. So I've got no central locking at the moment. Does it do anything else? 52, glove box, the hand lamp, the little torch. Okay, I don't need that at the moment. Interior light, we know that one. Alright, so I'm just going to turn this off, and I'm going to open the door and see if any lights come on. No. I've still got continuity, right? Alright, let's leave that door as it is. I'm going to risk putting this on. Yeah, it's about the same. Right, so now question is, can I put this up here on the back window so that I can see it? And that way, as I'm pulling fuses, I can keep looking back and seeing if the drain goes, because it's going to be a nightmare to just pull a fuse, have a look, pull a fuse, have a look, pull a fuse, have a look. It's going to be a nightmare. And if you look in my I might need a torch for this. Hold on, give me a sec. Okay, right, I'm going to show you my glove box, fuse box, because I've got some cables on here. I've also had to pull a cable, which is this one. I pulled this one out because it's a hardwired kit for my dash cam. I believe it's for the dash cam. So my front and rear dash cam, that's unplugged as well. I don't know what else that fuse does. There's the 30 amp one that I unplugged, but you'll see up here I've got some, let me try and show you with the light. I've got some cables dotted around, but that's all coming from the dash cam and the USBs for the head unit, for the Android head unit. So that's what all that's for. Right, I'll be back in a second. Right guys, I think I'm ready to go. I have one cable plugged into the negative, as you know. I have the other one clamped onto the battery. That's creating the full circuit. I've pulled the fuse for fuse number 52, so all the interior lights will be off whether I have the door open or not. And I've propped this up on the back window as best I can. I got no more cable travel really, but you can still see that it's showing a 0.4 amp drain. So I'm not going to pull the fuses in order initially. I'm going to pull fuses out where I think might be the culprit, like the car radio and stuff like that. And if it's none of those, then I'll start pulling them out in numerical order until I finally get to find out which one it is. Now, the other thing, I might go through all these fuses and find out it's none of these, and I might have to go into the engine compartment and start pulling out the big fuses in there. But I want to tackle the glove box first, even though there's more of them. So the first thing I'm heading for, guys, is radio, which is 2 fuses, 7 and 1. So fuse 7 is a 5 amp, sorry, 41, yeah, and fuse 41 is a 30 amp. Now, I don't know much about electronics and electrics. Oh, the drain's gone off. The drain's gone off. That's normal, 0.05. Oh, bugger. Oh, bugger. I was hoping it wouldn't do that. The car's turned something off then, because once I reconnected that, it went to 0.4. Now I've waited a while and it's, whatever it was, it's been turned off. Oh, that's normal. Oh, I don't like that. I'd rather have had a power drain. Guys, what the hell? I wanted a power drain. A power drain's probably going to be easier to fix. Find out what it is, find out why it's draining, and sort that out. If it's not a parasitic drain, then that's going to be a battery. 0.05 amps is fine. Oh, shingles. I'm going to open a door. Yeah, 0.4 on the door. Close it. And that's going to... So I guess we're normal then. Okay. So I guess my next step then is to buy a battery tester. One that's going to test, a digital battery tester, not a cheapy £5 Chinese one, but a more expensive Chinese one. Yeah, I'm going to get a battery tester now then, and we're going to get one that's got cranking amp rating on it, so that I can tell it what cranking amps the battery is, even though I don't know what it is. I'll have to find out, and then it can tell me the state of the battery and whether I need another one. If I do, the one I've got my mind set on is a UASA. I quite like UASA brand. This is still showing a drain at the moment, but I know after a few minutes, if there's any drain on the battery, the car detects it and shuts it off. It doesn't seem to work on the front cigarette lighter though, because if I plug the sat nav in, it it leaves it on. Or if I plug in, there you go, it's killed it. Now it's only gone down to 0.09, not 5. But the car just, there you go, the car just killed whatever was draining it. So something is draining it. Something is draining it that the car needs to shut off, and I wonder if that's normal. When you open the door, the lights are supposed to come on, but they can't because I pulled the fuse. But what if there is a module or something that powers those lights? I don't know, I'm just guessing, guys. And that module stays alive to the point where it would normally cut the lights. Because I think I'm going to test this. I don't know how long that was, but I'm going to time it, and then I'm going to put the battery back connected normal, because I know if you shut the door and then lock it, the interior lights go out straight away. However, if you just leave the door closed and unlocked, the car will shut the interior lights off after a certain amount of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the door and close it, and then time how long it takes for the car to drop the ampage down to normal. That is normal. And then I'm going to compare that with having the battery connected, take the multimeter out, and then just plug the fuse back in for the interior lights, and see if the amount of time it takes for the lights to go out is the same time it takes the car to drop that drain. The other thing I'm going to do before I do any of that is plug back in my dash cam fuse and see if that makes a difference. I might even plug in the interior light fuse again. What was it? Interior lights, and there was something else it powered, which I have forgotten. Where was it now? Central locking. Okay, central locking system. Well, when I open the door and close it, you think the central locking would be awake. Right, so I'm going to put that fuse back in, that wire. I'm not going to, probably shouldn't do this while the car's connected, but anyway. So I think this came out of here. I'm going to plug that in here. Oh, very difficult with the way I'm sat. There we go, it's in. Okay. So that's the dash cam back on. Ooh. Close. And then let's see if after a certain amount of time this drain goes. I'll be back and I'll let you know. Alright, so I'm still waiting. Hasn't been that long though, only a few seconds since I cut the video. Now if this doesn't drop, then it's my dash cam or whatever's on that fuse that my dash cam is piggybacking on. If this does drop, then it ain't the dash cam. But the dash cam is powered off. It is powered off. Is it putting a 0.4 amp drain? Really? No, it's gone. The car's killed it. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to turn the phone off because I need the stopwatch, and I'm going to open a door, and as soon as I close it, I'm going to time how long it takes for the car to kill this voltage or ampage, and then I'm going to put everything back as it should be and see how long it takes from when I open the door to closing the door for the interior lights to go out. Alright, and if it's the same amount of time, then it means, as far as the car's concerned, situation is normal. Now I'm sure there's people out there who know better than I do all about doing this, so I'm just muddling through. My knowledge on this isn't great. I'm just trying to make the best of it, but it looks to me that this is fine. A 0.05 amp drain is fine. So the only other reason why my battery isn't starting the car after a few days, I don't know why it's beeping, is because, might be the battery going out, even though it's a new one, is because the battery's actually knackered, which is why I'm getting this drain. Right, so I'm going to run those tests, guys, and I will be back and let you know the results. Okay guys, so the time it took for the car to drop the ampage was 1 minute and 20 seconds. Now I've connected the fuses all back, everything's back in place, the interior lights are back on, the central locking's back on. The only thing I haven't connected up is these backlights. Now I'm not saying this is a culprit, I don't believe it is, but in the end what I'm going to do, just to be sure, is connect these up and then have the boot open so these backlights are on, bring one of the back seats down so I can look into the boot, and then come back, close the boot and make sure both of these lights do go out. I'm sure they're going to, but I just want to be sure. Right, so now that everything is as it was, everything is switched off, and we're just going to see how long it takes. Now I can time it based on how long I've been running this video. The thing about my multimeter as well is it has auto power off, so I couldn't have sat in the front of the car for half an hour pulling fuses because it would have powered itself up a few times. Alright, so I'm going to close this door in 3, 2, 1. Right, so if this time's right, then those lights should go off at 2 minutes and 50 seconds into this video, into this segment, because I started it at 1 minute 30. 1 minute 30. Oh no, they're off already, look. 1 minute 30, and they're off after 30 seconds, more or less. 35 seconds. So there's, it must be, there's, I don't know what's going on, because that 0.4 amp will still be running right now. It'll still be on. So the lights go out on Broadway, and then I have to wait another 50 seconds or so before the ampage drops. I'm assuming it has dropped now. Alright, so my next thing now is just to clip these back in and take a look. So it's going to be easier if I pull down that side of the seat. So we'll drop that on the passenger side, we'll drop that through, and I'm going to reconnect these, and I just want to make sure it's done. Alright, see you in a sec. Alright, so I've got the lights connected. The boot is still open, and I can see one light on that side and one light on that side. Alrighty then. Trying to get out the car very carefully, and we're going to close the boot. Oh, great big bloody wasp's just gone in. You see that thing? He's gone. Talk about having a bee in your bonnet. Well, that would have worked if it was the engine bay. Alright. So in we get. That one is off. That's not Terminator's eye, that's just my red lens. And that one is off as well. Alright. So they do indeed go off, which means it looks like I have a battery issue. I was hoping that wouldn't be the case. Now, it would be cheaper to just stick a battery in, but I do want to get a battery tester. Admittedly, if it tells me I need a new battery and I put one in, I don't need a battery tester anymore. Not for many years, because I've only got my battery to test. Now this one's been in since I've had the car. I don't know if any one of you know what make that is. It's got the year and everything there, but I don't know what it is. I'd have to take this off in order to find out. It ends in an N, something high performance. I don't know, and I don't know what the cranking amps on it is. I really don't know. But I'm going to be ordering if I need a battery, if it turns out the battery tester tells me, because I am curious to know what the state of health of this battery is. And if you go on Amazon, there's a product, I'll link it in the video, there's a product called Top Done, and it's a digital thing. I think it looks pretty good. It's got the cranking amps on it, it does the state of health test, and I think it even has tests for whether the battery's in the car or out of the car. Apparently it's tests are different, or the way the tests are done is different. So I'm going to be getting myself one of those, but don't buy it from Amazon though, guys. Amazon's like wanting £50 for it, £49.99, and on eBay it's the same product for about £33. So but if I order that now, that won't be here until another week, but I can hold off on that, so I don't really have a big issue, as long as I start the car every other day. And hey, even if I don't and I come to the car and it just clicks, then I have my amazing lovely Vitamile booster, which probably still has a damn good charge on it actually. Yeah, look, this has jump started my car like 3 or 4 times now, and it's still at 100%. So this product's brilliant. This I got from Amazon, and it's got a 21,000 milliamps, and this will start a 6.5 litre engine. This on Amazon, Better Mile. I think it's probably been superseded by now. I've only had it for maybe a year and a half. It's awesome, guys. It's really good. You have your 2 USBs if you want to charge your phone, because you can. It has a flashlight with a strobe effect, which doesn't do me any good. And then you plug in this, which is what I've been using today. And then you've got a little boost button in case you need to use that. But this is brilliant. I mean, if your batteries are running a bit, I've heard tell, I wouldn't do it, but I've heard tell people just disconnect the battery, put this on in its place, you know, red clip to red, black clip to black, and run the car home without the battery connected, just on this thing. Now I wouldn't do that, because there's all sorts of loads going through. This is just for starting your car, but there's some crazy people in the world, and they do these things. But it's better than carrying one of those great big, like, you know, those big booster packs, not quite as big as a subwoofer, but something like this size, you know, but really deep, and it's got great big clips on it and it takes up a lot of space. This thing fits inside that bag, and you can see how big the bag is by my hand. You know, it's about the size of a glove. Oh, by the way, I have a glove. Oh, maybe I should put those in the glove compartment. You see, even the gloves are a bit bigger than that. This is brilliant. I thoroughly recommend this Vetomile. If you can't get this particular model, then go for something else. I think it's about £80 or something, but hey, it's cheaper than a tow truck, right? If you ain't got jump cables and nobody to jump you, and you're in the middle of nowhere and so you've left your lights on or whatever, this is a lifesaver. And for 80 quid, yeah, I think it's a worthwhile purchase. Anyway, I'm not going to yammer on anymore. That's it. I'm going to put my battery tray back. I think I'm going to do a bit of a clean before I put it back. And I need to find out where that plastic screw's gone. I did have one in there. It's probably fallen down here. That'd be just so bloody typical. But yeah, it's looking like battery. It's not in there. Bit of rust at the bottom there, just a little. You can see that there. Just a little surface rust, I think. Yeah, it is. It's just surface rust. Yeah, so okay, it is what it is. Sometimes you just have to get a battery, and yeah, we'll do that. Alright guys, thanks for watching this one. So, I'm kind of wanting to say sorry it wasn't a parasitic drain, so you could have seen me find it, but that's the method. Just start pulling fuses out, and then suddenly the ampage on the multimeter will just drop, and then you know it's that, and then you have a look at what all the systems are on that fuse, and then you try and trace why it's draining. So that's pretty much it, really. Okay guys, so I tried. Take care, and I'll see you in the next vid. Yeah, that's it. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay indoors. Bye. No, okay, I shouldn't preach that because I'm outdoors. So stay indoors or in your driveway tinkering with your car. Don't go to parties. Alright, bye everyone.